Okay, hi there.
Hello.
Just so you are aware, the following interview will be recorded. Is that
That's fine.
That's fine? Okay, thanks. Okay, let's get straight into this. First question. How did you become a graphic novelist? What qualifications are required?
There are absolutely no qualifications required except owning a piece of paper and a pencil. But I started doing comics when I was 14 and have just been doing them ever since, and have just gone professional with it in the past sort of year and a half. So I have been publishing for about 8 years. As far as qualifications go, I am a qualified teacher, though I don't do that. And I do have a degree of fine arts, which is effectively the degree in making pretty pictures, which I was never very good at.
Okay. So how do graphic novels differ from the average comic book, in your opinion?
The term graphic novel is used to describe a comic book, which is still a comic book, let's face it. It's fits all the conventions. But it's something that is usually longer and can stand alone and is considered to be of more literary merit, which is why things like Sandman and Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns are considered graphic novels, whereas your average Batman story is not. It's just a comic book.
Yep. Okay. What inspired you into going into this so-called profession?
I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was younger. I've been making films since I was about 4. And not very good ones, mostly filmed with like two plastic Lego men sitting in a boat in a toilet, being scared of a waterfall that was coming soon. And then I realised as I got older that making films was really, really expensive if you wanted it to look any good, whereas drawing pictures you can do whatever special effects you like. And I'd always been told I was good at drawing, so I just believed people.
So you enjoy it?
I enjoy writing it, and occasionally I enjoy drawing it. I would be really happy if I could draw big, full-page pictures of dinosaurs fighting each other all of the time, but drawing small panels and lots of headshots and lots of talking gets a little tedious.
Yeah. Would you consider it a well-paid job?
It can be. It definitely can be. As of a few days ago, with a new cartooning job I got, I officially make more money from comics than I would if I was on a benefit in this country. But also, what I make my money from is, what I actually make my living from isn't from the comics themselves. It's from the merchandise, the t-shirts, the badges, as well as what's happening at the moment, which is selling it for a TV deal and an international deal. The comic market in New Zealand is really, really small. So, there are 6 comic shops in the entire country, and if a big title like, say, Wolverine or Batman will sell maybe 5 or 6 copies through each store, whereas if it's worldwide, there are millions of comic shops and millions of copies will be sold, and thousands of copies will be sold of every comic to every store. A friend of mine just did a comic which sold, just one issue sold 500,000 copies because it was Spider-Man meets Barack Obama. And he's got another one coming up which is a murder that happened at Fashion Week, and it's got Tim Gunn meets the Avengers, and that will sell a huge amount because it's worldwide. But in New Zealand, internationally I can make a lot of money. Locally I can make, I made enough money to comfortably have a student lifestyle without having to have a part-time job, and I paid all my uni fees and then funded a feature film from it.
So what are some of the names of the works that you have produced?
My first comic was a superhero story called Bald Man, which was about a man who was bald. That never got published. That was when I was 14. The first published thing I did was an ongoing series, 8 pages a week, about a guy named Bob who had a miserable life, and that was just a really small print run of sort of 50 copies. And distributed relatively locally and online. Since then I did a thing called Being the Antichrist, which was a one-off graphic novel, and then I did a thing called Drinking Mercury, which was also a one-off graphic novel. I did a 3-part series called Falling Leaves about a guy who discovers he has godlike powers that was never meant to know, and it drives him mad, which was kind of my first serious real comic, if you like. It was the first one that was produced in a really nice way, and I was really happy with the work when it was done. Also, it was the one that I won Best Writer and Best Artist and Best Comic for that at the Gibson Awards that year. Since then I've did a 100-page graphic novel called Wilhelm Scream, which was a murder mystery about a film sound effect set in a play written as a comic book, which was kind of postmodern and, a whole thing, and the whole comic pretended it was a movie. It was fun, but it was a bit, a bit self-involved. And then since then, I was working on a feature film about comic books, then got an offer to do a monthly comic series from a concept I'd had called Gunnosaurus, which has now been turned into Blastosaurus, and I've been doing that as a monthly comic in New Zealand. It's the first and only monthly comic in New Zealand, and that's been picked up by an overseas company and will be getting worldwide distribution.
Cool. And so, are you working on anything now?
I'm still working on Blastosaurus. I'm working on issue 15. There are 150 issues in total, plus Halloween specials, plus a spin-off called Terry Green Monster Hunter, plus a spin-off called I Fight Crime, which is a daily comic strip about two guys who work in a comic shop. I'm also working on a 12-issue graphic novel called Silver Age, which is about the death of the Silver Age comic book and the possibility that superheroes were, in fact, once real. I'm also working on a thing called The Daring Tales of Sir Barnaby Goodspeed, which I'm co-writing with Aidan Caulfield, which is a sort of Victorian Jekyll and Hyde meets James Bond meets Fight Club. I'm working on a thriller called Seizure, which is about a woman who has seizures and kills people, which is all set in one apartment building, so it'll be kind of interesting to look at how to portray that visually in a really limited space. And I'm also working on a time travel story about saving John Lennon's life. So,
cool.
Yeah, everyone always gives me a look when I say that one, but it's going to be cooler than it sounds, I think.
Well, thank you for that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't know. What else do?
Okay, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, that'll probably do.